In 2009, a disease called white nose syndrome hit our bats here in New Hampshire, just a few years after it was first discovered in the United States. And since 2009, we've seen really significant decreases in our bat population.
And now we are in the great spot of having several sites with over 700 bats and even one reporting 800 bats this year.
We should care about bats because they're so important in our ecosystem. They just are really important for insect control. They have to eat up to half their body weight, even greater than that sometimes, in insects every night.
Tonight we're at a barn of a private landowner here in Durham, New Hampshire, and we are here to count bats in a few different ways. The first is using a protocol through the New Hampshire Bat Counts project, which has volunteers come out and count bats visually that they see emerging from these maternity roost colonies, some of which are found in barns. And at the same time, we're partnering with UNH researchers to use a couple of other methods of counting those bats.
We use thermal video to get video of the bats as a way to count them periodically, but we also are using acoustic monitoring. So every night we're eavesdropping on the sounds that these bats are making as part of their natural behaviors. So when these bats leave from this barn, we really can't hear them, but they are yelling. And in fact, when bats are vocalizing, they're making sounds as loud as a chainsaw. These sounds we can't hear because they're ultrasonic, meaning their frequency ranges are above the range that our ears can perceive, which is why we use specialized microphones to record them. But the bats have to make sound because this is how they navigate their environment. They're constantly echolocating when they're looking for their prey. Their echolocation rates change depending on different phases in their prey. And we're able to take those acoustic recordings and turn that into information that can tell us about how many bats are in the barn, as well as how those numbers are changing across the summer.
We use these maternity roost colony counts to get a better understanding of where bats are in New Hampshire and in what numbers, where bats are doing well in the state, and what the different characteristics are of the sites where they might even be having increases in population, so we can understand just the conservation status of bats here in New Hampshire.